What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for a new update. Actually, a topic I don't really want to discuss now because I think it's very early. However, it's out there. Romeo Gresti spoke about it. People are asking for it in the live chat always. So we're gonna discuss that. However, I'm gonna make it a two-parter because I'm gonna talk about the contract situation and the Conte news and the Motta news and whatever. But I'm also going to talk about something else, later on in the video. So before we do that, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification, hit it now. Let's get to, for this one, we should be getting 100 likes. It should be easy because, yeah, it's easy. Click the link, click the like button, and let's jump into what was kind of a wild day of news, to be honest. Okay, so the news day started off with Tuttosport suggesting that, well, not suggesting, talking about Allegri's contract situation. We know he has 1 year left on his deal. We know that. We know he's on a lot of money. Reportedly 9 million euros a season. He's on. That's also something we know. And we know that at this moment in time, there are no real talks, for a contract renewal. There's actually nothing really, to be honest. And we also know that, you don't go into a new season with your coach only having 1 year on his deal, because at that point, you tell your coach, you need to prove yourself this season, and the club is not going to do that. Like, you cannot do that with a coach or Allegri. I think that's, whatever I think of him, I think that's still disrespectful, based on what he meant, what he has done for the club in the past, as well. I don't think you can do that. I don't think he will accept that. So I think that's pretty clear. So Tuttosport is saying that there's no chance that he goes coaching the club with 1 year left. There's only a year left. There's no chance. So the ways are, he's gonna renew, or it's over. Now, the renewing part, they suggest talks need to be held because wages need to drop. He needs to agree that the direction is young players. There's not much of experience. There's not much of money, or to sign experienced players. All those things, like, it's not really out there. It's this way or the highway, basically, and that he also still has offers from the Saudi league and whatever, and that even he might suggest, maybe this is over now. Personally, I think they will find an agreement to part ways. I just don't see how he wants to deal with this for the next coming years, because this, what we are building, still needs time, and it needs a different input, in my opinion, in the way we play to keep it sustainable. Yes, the points are there now, but it's not sustainable in terms of beating consistently the better teams, and the quality some think is required to get there is not going to get there over the summer. It's going to be a process. And does he want to be part of it? Is he the right man? Because he's been here now 3 years. Like, does he want to actually go again? Because things are going to change in the summer. We're probably going to lose a big player, but you're probably also going to get one potentially good signing. But still, like, Cope Miners is not old if it's Cope Miners. You're going to deal with Sule. I don't know, Alcaraz, not sure, probably not going to be here, by the way. Like, I don't think that's a thing. But, like, you got Diallo. Like, you have a very young crop of players, and you need to go with it. You need to go with it again, basically. And I just have a feeling, I think he doesn't want to be part of it. Now, the link was Motta, that he is the number one candidate should Allegri and especially Giuntoli. I saw the Alcan links, but I think Giuntoli is in full control. I think Alcan will just go with however Giuntoli decides at this moment in time. He probably needs to report at him, but I think when Alcan called Giuntoli personally, I think it made it very clear that he is in control of the club now. In terms of, you get it done, you get it back on track. So there have been contacts apparently, Motta. Do I believe that? Not really. Mid-season, I really struggle to believe that. Not formally, maybe just hinting towards it, like a quick chat here and there, but nothing serious. But he is the main candidate. It's not a shock, if you're gonna replace Allegri. I think with Giuntoli there, the direction is gonna be drastically different. In style of play, in age, in experience, I think the Klopp is gonna go a completely different direction because who's out there? And don't say Klopp or Zidane because look at the state in terms of where we are in our process. Why would Zidane take this job? Why would Klopp take this job? Money wise, all those things. So if Allegri's gone, I think the direction is very clear. It's young, potentially. It's new, up and coming. It's refreshing. It's less experience, winning stuff. That's all a fact, and you need to deal with as well, with that as well. It's different to coach Bologna because nobody's gonna jump on you if you don't win. However, if you bring in a new coach like him, he needs a good time to gel in. He needs probably a season to completely gel in and actually really be top. And he needs to get over the hump, winning. However, Thiago Motta has won in his career, so he knows what winning, and by the looks of it, he knows how to coach as well because that Bologna team actually is not that talented if you look at it. Like they have Zirkzee, I know that, they have Ferguson, like they have some good players, but like overall, or Solini, like it's not a stacked squad, but they do what they have to do, and they do it at a very good level. So the obvious choice, in my opinion, is probably going to be Motta, also because his agent came out and he said there's no chance he goes to Napoli. Absolutely no chance at all. And at that point, you're like, okay, if he wants to stay in Italy, the feeling is it's him or Pioli, and De Rossi maybe at Roma does he want to take that job? You never know, obviously, but that's the feeling. So it's potentially an easy link, but it's also like the quote unquote logical link to make. So whatever the media does, it's kind of a tap-in story at this moment in time, but that's it, and I'm not here to talk about I want Motta, I want this. Like we talk about Allegri at the end of the season, I think it's over. I think they will find an agreement. Personally, I could be completely wrong, and he signs a new 5-year extension. Who knows? But that's just a personal gut feeling, So I'm not here to say yes, we need to bring in Motta. I'm just gonna wait until the season is over. In terms of we have no chance of dropping out of top 4, we have no chance of winning the league, and I don't think winning the Coppa Italia alone is gonna save him, if he finishes I don't know how many points behind Inter. So that's a talk we need to have further down the line, because no matter what, and what I don't think we're gonna win the title. If they win their game in hand, it's 7. It's still a lot of games to play for. You cannot say it's completely over. You absolutely never know. I don't wish injuries upon anyone, but like things happen. Players get injured. You play multiple games a week, and you start dropping points. It doesn't look like Inter are dropping points, but if you're that team, if you're that coach, you keep your players still focused, and you're like, it's still not over until it's over. So that's why I don't want to sit here and say, oh, you need to sack him at the end of the season. I think it's over, but I will say definitely when the season is kind of done. So the Motta links, okay, even Romeo said, I think if you listen at Romeo's words, he has a feeling like it's probably going to be over, and he said like the next one is a completely different profile, like a coach that can work with youngsters, has a completely different idea of football, that puts players in positions to flourish, does not complicates things, shifting Chiesa and then trying Milik Junior as Mezzala, just player for player basically, and see what works basically. That's what Romeo was saying, and that's what like we have done. Like if you sack Allegri, you cannot go back to a pragmatic approach, because then you're just moving sideways. It's pointless. You need to take a big jump. Like if you at the end of the season as a club being Giuntoli saying this is not it, thanks for the points, however, with the crop of players we have, with the limited budget and the deals we potentially are going to make in the summer, youngsters, and just in the future, I need to go in a different way. Like I need to have a different approach, and I don't think there's no way around it. If you move on from Allegri, it needs to be something completely different, drastically. And it is a big jump. It is a big jump because we don't do that at this club. That's why it feels like a big jump. But that doesn't mean it cannot be done. It doesn't mean that at all. So will it be Motta? It probably will not be Conte at all. Because that will be ridiculous. It will be sideways. It will be sideways in terms of the way you want to play. And yes, the Conte play looks still better, but it's not the drastic change you might envision when we brought when we signed Juntoli to the club, basically. So that's that. Let me know in the comments what you think, because I'm gonna go on a different topic as well. But let me know in the comments what you think of the Allegri one and the Motta one and all those things. And I'm not asking you, do you want to sack Allegri? Do you want Thiago Motta? Just in general, what way should the club go? If they actually decide it's over with Allegri, which way should they go? And also, if they don't agree, they need to pay out Allegri. Then the next coach is gonna be a cheap one, hence Motta, because he's not gonna be on a lot of money. That's the first part of the video. The second part of the video is opinions. I have no problem if you call me out in the comments, as long as you keep it clean. But listen what I say. For example, I never said Miretti is better than Rabiot now. Yeah, people make that up. I don't put them in the same sentence in terms of they're at the same level at the same stage in the career. I never did that as well. I talk about Rabiot because I don't rate what he offers on the pitch. I don't rate that he wants 8-9 million euros, and when I watch on the pitch, I'm like, that's absolutely not even close to 9 million euros. Like, if I need to pay 8-9 million euros, I want, and again, I know these players are on high, even double wages, but like, I'm going direction Toni Kroos, De Bruyne, Bellingham. I'm going in that direction. When I think about those figures. And again, don't throw Vlahovic and Chesney at me, because they have contracts. Rabiot, not at the end of the season. So you can make a decision there, and that's a decision you should not be making. If he wants 8-9 million euros, let him walk. Just let him walk. And thanks for everything. Thanks for the last 2 seasons. Thanks for nothing for the first 3 seasons, because I think people tend to forget that as well, and move on. That's what I said. But when you say those things, people there are 2 extremes. There are different opinions. You can have a debate. I don't think he's good. I don't rate what he offers. I don't rate that to a high extent where I'm like, oh my God, if we are without Rabiot in the next couple of years, we're done. I don't have that feeling with Rabiot at all. If you want to loan out Miretti, whatever. I never said do not loan out Miretti. I never said that. He's not ready completely. He isn't. But we don't have any midfielders, so here he is. That's just the reality of the situation at this moment in time. And also, when it comes to overreaction, if anyone has something to say, let me know. Don't go on social media and hint towards this channel, and not just me, people coming on this channel claiming that they're negative just because they have a different opinion, claiming we are overreacting after one game, when I've always been saying the same things, even when we were winning games since last season. Never changed my tune, kept it the same. When we won games, I said, I always end the video with, I'll take the points. However, the way we play, it doesn't feel sustainable for the long-term future. It doesn't feel like the players are actually shining. It feels more robotic. It feels more grinding it out. It doesn't feel sustainable at all. I've always said that when we won games, 1-0, 3-0, 6-0 against Salernitana, or Frosinone, who was at Salernitana, I've always said the same thing. So if you have something to say, reach out, and that doesn't go for me. It goes for people I have on the channel as well. It's different opinions. You can have a debate, but don't say, oh, they're negative or there's overreaction, when we've been saying the same things even when we're winning. The overreaction is actually you reacting to something that never happened, that never took place. If I come out of the Inter game, I think I have a right to say that was unacceptable, the way you approach that game. I've seen us come from Serie B and play better. I've seen a worse Juve side play better against a tripleta winning Inter side. I've seen it with my own eyes. So don't tell me that you cannot have a different mindset, even when you're 1-0 down. That was still unacceptable. It's okay to say that, Oh, you're not a real fan if you have a criticism. Actually, I can flip it. If you never have any criticism of the club, if you just accept anything, no matter what the situation is, I think you're not the real fan if you want to throw names, because you just are blind to issues at the club. and you'll just eat it up. It's okay. It's okay to say that is not good. That's good. I said what Allegri has done well. The mentality in the club has changed. It wasn't at an all-time low. He managed to change that, but that doesn't mean everything is perfect. Even when the points, Man U, excuse me, finished behind Man City, and I remember that very good, and it's a completely different topic, but I remember the media coverage of that season when Man U finished behind City. It was like they're back, Ole, doing a great job. They finished 20 plus points off Man City, and the following seasons, look at where Man U are right now. So people are too fixated on points and all those things. And I gave him credit for the points, but it's deeper than that. It's much, much deeper than that. You need to look at individual players. Who's improving? Who's not improving? Who's playing out of position? Who's actually really struggling? Like, all these things do matter. They do matter. If you want to look long term at the club, because at one point, because it's year 3 now. At one point, you need to start winning. No matter what this is Juve at the end of the day. Like, it's Juve at the end of the day. You still need to win. If it's a crappy Supercoppa or if it's only the Coppa Italia, you need to start winning. You need to start competing. You need to be in the mix no matter what. Like, that's just what this club is all about. And it was like this 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 60 years ago. You can look up the history of the club. And I get the situation is what it is. I'm not saying if he doesn't win the title, it's a failure. I never uttered those words ever, nor will I do that this season. But what I did say is you need to show something more against certain teams in certain moments. That's the only thing I criticized him after that game. Because it was not enough. It was a big moment. It was all on the line, and you didn't go for it. And you could have gone for it. Because I've seen worse teams than us go for it away to Inter. There's enough quality in that team to do much better in certain games and certain moments. Because there's too much downplaying it. There's too much blame on the players. Like, do I rate the squad highly? No, I don't. However, there's enough quality to do much better in certain moments. There's much more quality in this team to pick up the same amount of points, but still do it in a different way. In a way that these players are actually improving, and you can look at it and you're like, you know what, long term, no matter who the coach is, this is a good base on a technical level. Now it's a good base on a mentality level. Like, the mindset is good, They're hard to beat. We lost, I get it, but still, we're hard to beat overall. That mindset is good. However, it feels like it takes so much away of the quality of certain players. And if you don't agree with that, that's fine. But if you have something to say, reach out. Don't go on platforms and suggest that this channel or other channels are negative just because they have a different opinion. And the opinion didn't flip after the Inter game. The opinion was always the same, and people who have watched this channel for 3 years now know what I said, know what Julian has said the last couple of months. It's always the same, even when we were winning. Even last season when we were on the streak and then the streak collapsed, it's the same thing over and over again. The things that improved, I mentioned. However, there's still some worrying points. That's all I've said after the game. So that's that. And it needs to improve. It absolutely needs to improve going forward. Because even now, Roma look better. But even if they were not looking better, you still need to go away to Napoli, Roma, and Lazio. Not easy games. You need to show up. If you play like you did against Inter, you're going to lose at least 2 of those games. You're just going to lose them by default. So let's see what will happen in the next couple of days. Because the away games against those big teams remain an issue. So it's a big test, I guess, for the players, for the coach, for everybody. But only time will tell, I guess, at this moment in time. But I'm going to wrap this one up. Like the video. Do subscribe to the channel. Keep it clean in the comments. If you disagree, whatever. Also, do not call out each other in the comments because that's pointless. I will be live I will be live tonight, excuse me. Not sure what I'm going to talk about. Let's see what the news day Prankster will probably be a hot topic. Just have a weird feeling about that. But that's it for me now, and I will see you guys later tonight. Ciao.